By the way, Bruce Buffer has a blown ACL while he's screaming and jumping around up there. Yeah, he has not had the surgery because he does not want to take the time off of announcing. That is a goddamn savage.
I don't want to see the UFC without Bruce Buffer.
He's a savage.
He's amazing.
Bruce Buffer is the greatest ring announcer in the world ever.
Hey, do you think Mike Goldberg's in the crowd going, virtually identical?
Oh, how dare you. How dare you. He's yelling out for BJ to embrace the grind.
BJ's embracing the grind.
Well, this is in Phoenix, and this is Mike's hometown. Mike fucking loves MMA, man.
Oh, yeah.
Here's BJ's girl.
You're going to miss Mike, I'm sure.
I will stay in contact with Mike till the day I die.
Yeah.
Mike is my friend, and, you know, the UFC was sold to WME. They have their own thoughts on what they want to do, and I will be friends with Mike Goldberg till the day I die.
Can't give the guy a sign-off, though?
Yeah, man.
So good.
I didn't know what to do,
Can't do one of those old, weird animal videos?
They didn't want to, man. You know, I don't know what's going on.
Be civilized.
I know. Well, I don't know what's going on in terms of organizations, you know?
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know. I literally know Dana, and Dana's the reason why I'm still there. I mean, I've met Ari. He's a very nice guy. He's a very smart guy. He's a very successful guy. I wish them all the best. I'm rooting for them 100%. Obviously, I'm still with the company. I love them. It's an honor to work for the UFC. But you know.
But if Dana was out, you're out.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's the only reason I'm there. Wow, look at that. Champion Jose Aldo. That seems weird to me.
Doesn't make sense.
It seems weird to me. And then Max Holloway, interim champion. Like, what is going on? When you have a champion who didn't win the title in a fight in the octagon, he was awarded it after he won an interim title against Frankie Edgar, which is a beautiful performance on his part. And then Max Holloway wears an interim. Like,
But then think about how Max Holloway got it. I love Max Holloway, and he has 9 fights in a row that he won. Yeah. But then he beats Anthony Pettis, who's never fought at that weight.
He did fight at the weight once before.
Well, fought once before Oliveira, but really not a top contender. Really not.
Realistically not.
And then leaves the weight class. Now he's at 55. And then you won your belt off that?
Yeah.
It's so fucking strange.
It's
weird.
I
love how everyone has belts.
Well, do you think that this is just a part of the transition between Zuffa and WME, and there's going to be like this transitionary period where everything... Powerful watch, Tyron Woodley. Champ's got good taste in watches.
Is it a Rolex?
It's a fat one, whatever it is. Looks good. But the thing being... Look at that bad boy.
It could be an Invicta.
But the thing is, it's like, you know, there's obviously some sort of a transition going on. 80 people have been fired, including Goldberg, right? Yeah. It's a crazy time. So...
I think they're scrambling for stars, and I think belts brings along some sort of ratings. I just think they're in this feeling out period, this transition period, that they're just trying to figure it out. And I think that's why Dana's entertaining this Conor McGregor fight, because what else would we talk about? Name something else. Name something else big going on in the UFC right now.
Well, what's interesting is does WME, are they really, or you know, this organization, have they really been involved in anything where the outcome is totally unpredictable like combat sports? Because like the promotion for the the Ronda fight was a perfect example of something like, well, we really hadn't seen it that way before. We really hadn't seen it go 100% heavy towards the superstar, right? 100% heavy. Usually, it's like, you know, you would see a promo piece, like say if it's like Woodley versus Wonder Boy. You would see Wonder Boy highlights. You would see Woodley highlights. You would see ass kicking on both sides. You'd be like, holy shit, what a fight. I can't wait. They didn't do that at all. They did it the way they would do a movie.
Yes.
They did it the way they would promote a TV show. They did it the way they would promote a new Kiefer Sutherland series on Netflix.
You know, you see only the star. But that's
I shouldn't say Netflix. I should say like Fox.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's what scares me, because Dana White, when it comes to this, is a genius. He would never. I don't think he would allow that to happen. So I'm just wondering how involved he is, because without Dana, if you just have WME running it, fuck, man.
Well, it did look dope, though. I'll tell you what. I don't agree with the fact that they ignore. I'm a purist in a lot of ways when it comes to combat sports, and I think you have to respect the hierarchy of the champion. I don't give a fuck who's the famous person. This championship thing is so important. When you have if you're going to have champions, you got to respect the champion, like whoever the fuck it is. It's super important that you make a big deal out of the fact that that person's a champion. And they made like almost no deal out of the fact that she was a champion. It was this weird situation, but it was really well done in terms of like getting me amped up.
It wasn't
for
though.
It.
I
It
disagree.
was
I
for
disagree.
me. But for me, it was. For me, look,
Because you're the one doing the fucking promo.
No, most of that was not me. Most of that was like you open up the fucking curtain, the garage door, and you see her hitting the pads. I had almost nothing in that. The only thing that I said is I can't imagine she's not going to come back and be whatever, motivated or pumped up or whatever. By the way, a lot of the stuff they use in those promos, totally out of context. Like when I was saying that she's the best ever, there's no one even close. There's her and there's everybody else.
Yeah,
that
you
was
said
a
that.
long time ago. That was a long time ago.
Correct.
I did not say that for this fight.
No,
For
you
this-
didn't say this for this fight.
but-
you said that for the. I think you said that for the Betch Kohea fight.
But yeah, so see, like when they're making these promos,
they
they're
don't care.
patching stuff. They're taking. So for me, I have a problem with that because that's not what I would say.
Yeah.
So you're using like an old quote when she was dominating people versus a new quote post head kick knockout, post the emergence of Amanda Nunes after she stopped Sarah McMahon versus what you're seeing now in this division, which is all this new blood coming up. You're seeing this division percolate and change and evolve. And you're seeing like higher level fighters come in, like Valentina Shevchenko, like Amanda Nunes, like Holly Holm. Like you're seeing all this stuff take place in front of you, seeing this change in the women's division the same way you saw a change in the men's division from 97 to 2017. You're seeing that now take place at an accelerated pace
Super
in the
accelerated.
women's division.
Yeah.
So who was dominant 2 years ago? Like to use a quote from 2 years ago is really not fair.
I agree.
Not
It's
at
really
all.
not fair.
Not
It's
at all.
it's
It
a
doesn't do you justice.
mischaracterization.
Yeah.
But it builds the fight up, right? It builds the fight up. But
It's not the way to do it.
no, I agree. I'm a purist too. But the thing is if you understand this sport and you look at, let's say you want to copy the NFL would never just focus on Tom Brady.
Never.
Because there's a good fucking chance
Yep.
Roethlisberger wins next week. Now imagine if they just did all promos on New England. People would be like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly.
This is some bullshit.
Well, worse than
Roethlisberger's
that.
fucking good, man.
Worse than that, what you're talking about all promos that aren't the champion,
yeah.
which is worse than that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're talking about someone who just lost by brutal knockout. They're getting a shot right away at the title. And the idea is that even though they lost, but it was some bullshit. Now she's back.
She's back.
Now she's back.
After 411 days, she's back.
Yeah, it's fucking
411
It's
days.
just a bad.
There was
but
a
it's
lot
just
of
a bad
talk.
business plan.
There was a lot
overall.
of talk by people that I don't know, but I was listening to people talk about it. Like, I don't know who they are, executive type people, and I was like, wow, you guys have this idea of how this is going to go down. Like, they were just super connected to this idea. Now, I don't know who they were. I don't know if they're friends. I don't know but there was a lot of people that were talking that had this idea that she was just going to go in and storm the castle and take back
and
what's
murk her
hers.
like this. I had a conversation with a high up exec at a big time corporation, and we're talking MMA. I'm like, oh my, you have no idea.
What did he say to you?
We were talking about Conor and Ronda, and he goes, neither one. Listen, Ronda had that one hiccup. She will never lose again. I'm like, that's not true, man.
What?
There's a good. He goes, no. She would never lose again. She goes, and he goes, and Conor, not a chance. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Dude, these people were talking backstage.
The MMA gods are like, excuse me?
Yeah.
These people were talking backstage, and one of them didn't know Nunes' name,
Yeah.
and they were calling her cannon fodder.
Oh, boy.
And I
It's
was
just
like-
ignorance. They don't know anything.
But
They're
I
just
mean, who
talking.
knows who these
It's a
people are?
transition period.
They could be. I mean, I don't know who they were.
Yeah, they might be
They
in
could
positions
be
of power.
people who are friends of people who know some people that work at William Morris, and they're backstage dressed in fucking $2,000 suits, so they look classy. Who knows? I don't know.
William Morris, they shouldn't be doing anything without going through Dana White first. They should not be doing anything.
Yeah,
It's been in the game way too long for you guys to make any decisions without having some sort of influence from a guy who's come from the ground up from it. Going, you can't do that. Listen, our fan base is going to yell bullshit on this man.
Yes.
And if Ronda doesn't win, we're going to get fucking reamed.
Calling her cannon fodder, huh?
Do you think? Yeah, that was the word that someone used. Do you think that at this stage that there should be some sort of clearly established protocol as far as who fights who and why?
You have to. Otherwise, you're no different than the WWE.
Right.
Then people won't take a lot of the interim titles and the championship fights serious.
Here's my argument against that. Dan Henderson and Michael Bisping. I wanted to see that fight. It was goddamn time.
That's because we love Dan. I agree.
I love Dan and I love Mike. And I know Mike wanted it back. He finally got the title. And he's like, fuck this.
I know,
want
Joe,
to
it doesn't
fight
work like that, though.
That guy knocked me out. He's got his fucking picture of him flying through the air,
That's his
punching me in
logo.
the head.
That's his
while
logo.
I'm out cold. Everybody knows what that logo is.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck him.
And he landed it twice on
Yes.
him in the fight.
Oof.
Yes.
No, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
Might be the fight of the year. It's up there, but I think you have to have some sort of structure where people can see what's going on. Otherwise, it's
Exemptions.
just like
maybe it's like a USADA exemption.
Yeah, maybe you have
for-
an exemption.
For Brock Lesnar,
You
how
get-
he got
you
away
get
with
one
that
a
4
year.
month.
You
The
get
problem
one a
is,
year.
the problem is, if you do that, you're right. You miss out on those really fun kind of revenge fights.
Yes, yes.
But then you can't say, oh, we want to be the next NFL.
Let me ask you this:
NBA.
Do you think? I mean, outside of like promote, see, the thing is, you can't deny. It's weird. It's like, are you a sport where someone has a very clear, like the World Series?
Yeah.
Like you can't, like someone can't lose a game and then all of a sudden be in the World Series, right? It's just like there's a protocol. Like you have to go through that protocol.
7-game series, yeah.
But do you think that there's a possibility, like you could have something like that, some established setup, but then they could throw it to the internet for like a wild card?
Can't
my
have
God.
that. You cannot have that.
My question,
Every now and then.
You can't have that.
Maybe the UFC gets 3 wild cards a year.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
The problem is the people that would answer that thing. But here's the other thing. I wonder if
so
in MMA,
crazy.
Young Jamie's shaking his head.
Do you-
No.
it's crazy,
how
Jamie.
important?
Try that.
How
with, like,
important
voting
is
for the All-Star teams and shit, and that's how Yao Ming is the number one
every
vote
year.
getter every year.
But,
Why is it? Because Chinese people is more of them?
Well, technically, yes.
But let me
So
ask you
more,
this.
they do it online? Is that what they do?
Yeah.
There's a guy right now that's the number one forward for the Warriors, but like no one knows even how to say his name.
Is he from China?
No, his name is Zsa Pachulia, but he's the leading vote getter.
Remember
for
Jeremy
forward.
Lin, too.
Where's
Yeah.
he
He
from?
was good.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Zsa, I don't know. Lithuania, maybe.
But
I'm
let me
not
ask
sure.
you this question about MMA.
Ichiro,
and
to your
UFC.
point.
Here's a
for
question.
Seattle Mariners.
Do you think, I wonder
Japanese.
about MMA, whether being champion in most of the divisions is even that important to the fans? In other words,
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, hold on.
Still is.
What's important to people is Conor McGregor, right? Ronda Rousey, the people that have there's something colorful about them, complicated people, somebody who speaks well. So we watch those guys. But I'm not so sure that because Michael Bisping is champion, that his viewership goes up.
Oh, it
as a
does for
result.
sure.
Does
Yeah,
it?
you're out of your
it's
mind.
clinically proven it
Really?
does.
Yeah, championship
Terrible
fights.
point, sir.
Terrible
And
point.
Terrible point. And you know what? I need you to take a break after that. But to your point,
Yeah.
you can say Ronda was the bigger star, but Ronda
Right.
was a different force. And the reason she got so big is because she was champion.
Right.
If Ronda was never champion, we're not even talking
But also,
about.
like what
She was just
did,
she was winning
what
one,
she-
losing one. It doesn't matter.
What she did to indulge that whole popularity thing was very different than Conor's approach. If Conor had decided to take that exact same approach and go do a ton of movies and go do a ton of talk shows and go do a ton of
He
do
won 2
commercials
fights in
for
the UFC.
Budweiser's and Entourage and all this different
Yeah,
shit. If he started doing that same shit, his star would rise proportionally to the way her star rose, and his performances inside the octagon would suffer
Right.
proportionally to where hers did.
And he didn't do it, and he's still bigger.
We were talking about that guy that did that interview. He's a sports guy, and he was talking
Skip
about
Bayless?
no, the other guy, the black guy who was with him.
Shannon Sharp.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
And he had a great point. Shannon Sharp had a great point, and he said Ronda cheated on MMA. He said you got to be all in. He
That's
goes, you
interesting.
can't go and do a bunch of other shit and think you're just so much better than everybody else that
way.
it's never going to catch up
It
to
comes
you.
from another 1%er athlete who knows and who's had
Exactly.
all this kind of temptation.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Shannon Sharp stuck to the game plan.
Cheated
And
on
when he
MMA.
said it, I was like, this guy's dead right.
I think the
He's dead
business
right.
model, though, the only problem with the business model is that with MMA, it's really hard to invest in the champion because of the nature of the sport. The belt will change, like especially
Yeah, you're
now,
investing
the
for one
belt
fight,
is
Brian.
Right. But still,
You're
the belt
investing
changes all
promotion.
the
But-
time.
But you're not investing in the champion. You're
No.
investing in the organization and the fact that they have the best fighters in the world. What you're doing with each fight is promoting a fight. What I'm saying is that you have to respect the hierarchy of the championship above all. The champion is the champion. And if you don't respect the hierarchy of the champion, if you're somehow or another saying that this champion ain't shit, unless this champion is fighting Mike fucking Tyson when Tyson was 20 years old and just smashing everybody and you knew, oh my God, this is going to be the youngest ever heavyweight champion, then you focus on that guy with the same amount of fervor that it demands.
Right.
But that's not the case here. You know, you're talking about an insanely, like in that particular Ronda Rousey fight, an insanely dangerous champion who just smashed Misa Tate.
And you're talking about an X factor. We're like, we really don't know what we're going to get.
Exactly.
Let's hope for the best and put all the money into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
you got
fucking insane.
You got, but also you have an insanely marketable champion. First of all, the first ever openly gay women's MMA champion and men's. It should have never been an openly gay MMA champion.
Right.
So you have the whole LGBTQ, whatever they are now. Is there an A?
It's about 8% of the population. But yeah.
But
whatever
still,
the fuck it is, you have a bunch of people that.
them.
But you have also a bunch of people that respect that, and a progressive people that say, "Hey, this is great. Like, look, it shows how diverse the UFC is."
Sure.
And
like
her story's amazing.
Yeah, and this stupid shit that Meryl Streep said the other day, like one of the reasons why she probably said it is because she's seeing Ronda Rousey's face plastered all over the place, and she's saying, "Hey, you know, you take foreigners out of Hollywood, you're going to be left with football and MMA." She doesn't understand that MMA, like you saw tonight with Yair Rodriguez, is 80% foreigners. She's so wrong about that.
And that's also art. That jumping, spinning back kick would be art.
Oh, come on. You tell me that 360 round kick
just
that
like
he
dance.
Fucking
it's
landed.
just like dance, but harder.
Jesus
you got to hit
Christ.
somebody with it.
Yes, it's just like rhythmic gymnastics.
Hell yes.
She just doesn't know.
Yeah.
She's uneducated.
I mean, if dance is an art, then gymnastics in competition is also an art because it's very similar. It's just under more pressure, right? So if gymnastics is an art, how are 360 round kicks not? Oh shit!
Oh no.
That guy on the ground was a bad motherfucker.
Hey, it's weird she used her Lifetime Achievement Award to talk shit about MMA and football.
Well, I think she was making a clumsy, larger point, but
yes,
for sure. Celebrate what you.
Did Nina
that was
Ansaroff
not
get
the
caught?
time.
No, Nina Ansaroff won. Whoa, rear naked. Round 3. That's Amanda Nunes' girlfriend. Holla!
Yeah, holla.
Get some.
Wow.
Red Panty Night.
Get some.
Red Panty Night,
That's
son.
awesome.
Get some.
that is an awesome story, huh?
Listen, man, she's a bad motherfucker. But she's
Amanda
not a
Nunes?
motherfucker. Yeah, I guess she is a motherfucker.
She's a
really.
motherfucker.
Yeah, she's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
She's a motherfucker.
She's a fucking world champion, man. A legit champion.
Who's her
tough
biggest?
to beat.
Who's her biggest challenge? You think?
She's got a lot of big challenges. Shevchenko's a good challenge, and so is Juliana Pena.
Yeah,
Whoever
Pena
wins
would be
that
tough,
fight
too.
steps up and
Outside
emerges.
that, though.
Well, listen, Holly and whoever the fuck wins that fight versus
Jermaine.
Holly and Jermaine Durandame, it's a very interesting fight because if Shevchenko, so you got Shevchenko, you've got Jermaine Durandame, and you get Holly Holm. Those are 3 super advanced strikers that could wind up facing Amanda Nunes.
But I don't
All
think you
very
go.
interesting.
I don't think Nunes can jump to 45 right now and vacate
Fuck
the belt
yes,
35.
she can. Do whatever
What
the fuck you want to do.
Just pure chaos. Hey, I got an idea. What the fuck is?
And here's the dark horse, Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano beat Amanda Nunes, and she stopped her.
She's just not active enough.
She's not
She's
active
not even in the
enough, but if she
conversation. She's not active enough.
She ramps it up. If she ramps it up, she's still in the heat.
Let's
She's
get ramped up then.
She's a fucking.
I love you, Kat. You know that.
She's
Let's
a
get
badass.
ramped the fuck up then.
She's a badass.
I agree.
I like it. There's a lot going
She's
on,
been dealing
man.
with some
But
injuries.
so then Amanda just vacates that belt, or 2-time champ.
Champ. She becomes champ. Female champ. First female champ.
Fuck's sakes.
Why
and then
not,
CM
man?
Punk's headline a fucking pay-per-view. And
I don't know, man. I think Amanda has the one quality
Wild
that I
West.
think that everybody wants to see, and she has the ability to stop women. I mean, fucking stop them. The way she
punches
stopped
are
Sarah,
stupid.
the way she stopped Misha, she smashes
she's
people
murked
and
2
then she
legends.
jerks them. Yep.
She's murked 2 legends.
Yeah.
She feels like she seems like a faster. She seems just generally more explosive than every female by
well,
far.
she
Not
also-
Cyborg.
She's
No,
very
no.
long.
Cyborg's on
Cyborg's
drugs, though.
100 pounds heavier
That's
than her.
different.
Cyborg's so big.
Cyborg's not
She's 80,000
235.
pounds.
She's 235.
She's
she
a
just got
building.
measured.
She's a building with feet.
She
She hired the same lawyer as John Jones and Lesnar. You see that? That motherfucker's nasty.
Who's the lawyer?
Nasty.
Whoever got OJ off?
Nasty.
No, I don't know. They got to hire
She
some
got the
powerful
dream
shit,
team.
though. She hired Johnny Cochran.
He's dead.
I know.
I think that, look, she's obviously she's got a real problem, but I don't even think she really is a 145er. I think Cyborg's a 155er.
I wouldn't say 185.
I mean, that's what
Her
she's
and
probably
Jacare?
walking around at. But if she right now decided to fight at whatever her natural weight is, we've been pushing this for a while. I think that's the future. I think the future is you show
we're
up.
going back to this.
You show up at people's camps randomly, just same way you're doing USADA tests. You do it for fucking 6 months. You test them. You find out what they actually fucking weigh. What do you weigh? What do you weigh when you're training? You never know when they're coming, so you have to stay light, and you have to find out, oh, look, Brian Callen, you're 175. That's what you weigh. Not 145. You're 175. That's what you fight at. And so you have an obligation to get to your lowest body fat, and you know that the UFC is coming knocking on your door with weight tests before you train.
Too many weight classes.
Well, no one's going to know. No one's going to know when this happens, and then you sit it down and you blow up the fucking champions. You blow up the whole thing and you start from scratch.
37 champions.
You have a World Series of Champions.
Just everyone's a champ.
Every 10 pounds. Every 10 pounds. You have the opportunity to lose some body fat.
You know what? That's what they're doing now, though. Look at all these interim belts. They might as well do it.
No. This is different.
No, I'm just saying everyone's getting a belt. You might as well fucking have
Not
10
everyone's
pounds.
getting a belt. There's a couple of belts thrown around. Tony Ferguson, Tony Henderson, and Khabib. I think Ferguson and Henderson is Ferguson and Khabib is such a good fight.
It's the best fight of the year so far.
I don't care.
I need it 5 rounds. I don't give a fuck how many belts are on the line.
Yeah. Oh, he fucked up Victor
he's doing
Pesca.
that
Look,
there.
he was doing it from a standing position.
Wow.
Oh, and then he let him. Oh,
Oh, look at that. So he went for it earlier, and then Pesca gets on top. And so he wraps his arm around, and then he lets Pesca mount him. He doesn't even try to stop the mount, and he just sinks it in from the bottom.
He's putting his hand is in a karate chop like that. Wow.
Very interesting.
First Ezekiel choke finish in UFC history.
And he did it from being mounted.
It's a hard-looking man.
Incredible. That is so incredible. I feel like otherwise you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over. How much does Tyron Woodley weigh right now? Tell you what, it's not 170.
Fuck no. What's he? Every bit of 200 and shredded.
He's huge. He's giant. Look at the
Hey,
size.
He's not tall, but
Hey, real quick, that Todd
fucking
Grissom said
huge.
me and him have the same haircut. I beg to differ, sir.
It doesn't matter.
It is not the same. That's the first time I've seen his haircut.
They're going over the submission. Really fascinating. I wonder if other people are going to try to pull this off.
Oh, that's tough to pull off.
Obviously, he's got it down pat. So he gets this.
That's some Russian shit.
And the other guy's fucking punched him in the head here.
And he lets him pass, and he forces him to stay there.
Oh man,
Incredible.
He grapevined his legs from the outside.
Yep. Crazy. He's like kind of holding on to him, like he's trying to like create space or something.
Because I wonder.
It's interesting that he doesn't get this in. He doesn't work on.
I wonder if he were to pass, what would if does it relieve?
Right.
We'd have to fuck with it after this.
Well, you'd have to go like knee to belly maybe, and then put some pressure.
Yeah. And then
Well, knee to belly. If you go knee to belly from there, like say if you pass instead of mount, if you like go to one side, Eddie Bravo doesn't mount anymore. We were having this discussion about this. I think it was on the podcast.
It was on here, and he's saying because he got submitted from this, so now he just does knee to belly.
Well, so many people are so good at that now. Guys with a lot of leg dexterity and flexibility, and they throw those legs up on the top.
But they also go for the ankle lock from there.
And they're so tight with that, especially like, Eddie rolls a lot of times with either gi pants on or with tights, with spats. And so if you got those rash guards on, man, it creates a lot of friction.
Different game.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why a lot of the real high-level leg lock guys, you see Gary Tonin, you see Eddie Cummins, they wear shorts.
That's right.
Yeah. Which is really even more impressive they can catch those things, because that was part of the reasons why a lot of guys like Aoki would wear those crazy tights, was for that extra traction.
He was known for him, too. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Then when we took him off, it wasn't shit. If you think about it, he took him off, got his ass whooped.
Shit.
Got his ass whooped.